Chelsea are up to second in the Premier League with a big win over Burnley. 2 goals, a clean sheet, and 3 points. And they did that without their star players, Cole Palmer and Caicedo, as well as Garnacho and Estavo were rested for a massive week coming for them. Barcelona in the Champions League, and then a massive game next weekend, which is Chelsea against Arsenal. And a lot of people are now saying they're in this race. They're in this title race, bearing in mind the injuries they've got, the defensive injuries they've had at the back this season. Bearing in mind Cole Palmer hasn't played their last, 6 Premier League games. You know, Neto and Enzo Fernandez step up and deliver today. You know, João Pedro was subbed early. Delap was subbed early. Looking at the bigger picture, looking at the fact that they are going to be playing Barcelona in a few days' time. But Chelsea at the moment look quite scary. They look quite scary. I'll be honest, Enzo Fernandez, these conversations, Declan Rice and Enzo Fernandez, actually need to happen now. I don't think the debate should be Caicedo, Declan Rice. I think the debate should be Enzo, Declan Rice, because they've got very, very similar stats this season. They both play in the 8 role. I think the conversation should be Zubimendi, Caicedo. But there's a lot to get into. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. That really would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to bring out the lineup very, very shortly. Everyone's kind of wrote them off this season in terms of what they're capable of doing, what they can bring to the table. And I just look at Chelsea differently to a lot of people. I don't think they are going to win the Premier League this season, but how can you not say they're in the conversation at the moment? They're above Man City. They're only 3 points behind Arsenal now, and they do play Arsenal next weekend. We'll get into the game. We'll get into the goals in a minute. But from a points perspective, they've now equaled Manchester City's 23 goals this season. They've got the third best goal difference in the league behind City and Arsenal. And who knows, if Liverpool don't get the right result this weekend, they're out. In my opinion, if City and Arsenal both win and Liverpool draw or lose, they're out of the race. You know, looking at Liverpool are only 1 point off of 10th. You know, they're 5 points behind Chelsea now, although they've got a game in hand. But they've won the second most amount of games this season. They've scored the second most, or joint top most, and the third best goal difference. And bearing in mind this season so far, they've already played Man United, Liverpool. In the 12 games they've played Spurs, Man United, Liverpool. They've got Arsenal coming up next. And they've won, I think, out of their last 12, I think they've won in all competitions. I think they've won something like 9. So they are building momentum. I thought Enzo Fernandez today was really, really good. Man of the match, he got, but I actually think Santos deserved the man of the match. He was absolutely exceptional from a defensive standpoint. He come in for Caicedo, who, for me, is the best defensive midfielder in Europe right now. And I'll argue to the cows come home with anyone. Caicedo is the only DM right now that can play at right back, can play at left back, can slot in a double pivot, can play in a lone 6. Chalobah and Tosin Adarabioyo was the starting centre backs. I think Badiashile come on. He did come on for Reece James. Gusto come on, had a really good chance in the second half. Guiu come on, got that assist, of course, for Enzo Fernandez's goal. But look, they left Caicedo, Estevao, Jarell Hato, Garnacho on the bench. And bearing in mind, they're without Cole Palmer and Colwill as well. So it's a really big 3 points today for Chelsea. They had to go in there, get the win, get the clean sheet, and get out. That was the only objective that really mattered. And the first goal comes at the 37th minute. It's a really good ball in from the left-hand side from Jamie Gittens to the back post, and it's a really good header. Pedro Neto, that could have got a touch off absolutely anyone. He arrives at the back post with a diving header down low into the bottom corner. And I think Pedro Neto this season is actually having one of the better seasons of his career, so far. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists in 12 games in the Premier League, which is really, really good. He got a goal and assist against Forest a while back, scored that, got an assist against Sunderland, scored against Wolves, a goal today, played a really good part in the second goal as well. But you think, I think he's best goal scorer in season so far, I think, is 5 Premier League goals. Now, that for me needs to, massively improve. I think this season is obviously, he probably will beat that. Last season, he got 4 Premier League goals. This season, he's already on 5, I think, when you include today. His best goal scorer in the season at Wolves was 2. So if he can comfortably better that, I genuinely think on that right-hand side, if he can get some consistency going, you can see why Chelsea signed him. He had, that Burnley back line on skates today. He was, even in the 88th, 89th minute, he's still making them runs down that right-hand side. Really good performance from him. Good ball in from Gittens. Another, summer signing they made, just 21 years of age. That's his first assist. He's only started 3 games for Chelsea in the league this season. That's, of course, his first assist. Getting at half-time, I thought Burnley would make a couple of changes. Of course, Reece James subbed off for Badiashile, probably looking at that Barcelona game coming up on Tuesday or Wednesday. Look at that, as that's such an important game from their Champions League campaign standpoint. And of course, they've got Arsenal next week. Burnley didn't really create a huge amount up until about the 80th minute. Chelsea managed the game out really, really well. I didn't really feel that Chelsea were ever at a threat from Burnley. I don't really think Scott Parker should have subbed off Fleming as well. He had a chance where I think it was Estev put a long ball over the top. It might have been Tuanzebe. Long ball over the top. Badiashile missed the header. It just falls to him and he can't get his foot over the top of it and he volleys it over the bar. The actual goal will come from Pedro Neto running down that right-hand side, play the ball down the channel to Guiu, who pulls it back across. And there is Enzo Fernandez to run onto it. It does get a deflection, but it goes into the back of the net. And that's a really good win for Chelsea. They had to go out there. They had to make it count. You look at the fixtures they've got coming up as well. They've got Barcelona, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Everton, Atalanta. Games coming thick and fast. I actually believe, and I don't know why I do believe this, but I actually believe they will beat Barcelona. I don't know why. I could be talking absolute nonsense. Barcelona have got Bilbao later today. They drew 3-3 with Club Brugge away from home. They, of course, beat Olympiacos 6-1. Then they lost to Real Madrid, beat Elche 3-1. And then, but just before the international break started, they played against Celta Vigo, where they won 4-2. But Real Madrid are, of course, top of La Liga. That they have been, the better team in La Liga compared to Barcelona. I think the gap's like 3 points, which could all change off one game. But I just have a feeling that Barcelona won't beat Chelsea. Chelsea, think back to all those years ago, that Fernando Torres goal at the Nou Camp. And of course, the Nou Camp is the first time that Barcelona will be playing in 3 years or so today. But I just have a feeling that Chelsea win. Estavo rested, Caicedo rested, Garnacho rested. I don't think Cole Palmer will be back for that game. João Pedro come off early as well for that. Looking at that result, they should have a really healthy squad. Other than Colwell, who's not going to be back until April due to the ACL injury. This team, I believe, gets something against Barcelona. Now, I could be talking absolute crap. They could go out there and get destroyed by Lamine Yamal and co. But I just have a feeling Stamford Bridge, under the lights, winter's night, Champions League. I look at a lot of those Spanish players. They're not really used to that from that Barcelona side. And yeah, I've got a feeling Chelsea do it. But Neto was really good today. Enzo Fernandez was really good today. If you actually look at their recent results as well, we'll go for their recent results because they are building momentum now. 2 back-to-back clean sheets. Should have beaten Karabag. But other than that, if you look from that Brighton game, beat Benfica, Liverpool, Forest, Ajax, had that slip up against Sunderland, and they beat us and beat Wolves. So in their last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've only lost 1 of their last 10 games. That game next weekend against Arsenal is going to be absolutely huge. And looking at Gabriel will be missing that game as well. when you look at the table right now, first against second, I do expect Arsenal to beat us tomorrow. Well, that's what everyone's telling me. I said my prediction yesterday with Terry that I believe we get something out of that game. But as it stands right now, that is going to be a huge, huge game next week. And let's say Chelsea do go and beat Arsenal, it is at the Bridge as well. All of a sudden, do people change their perspective on if Chelsea are title challengers or not? Because it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that gets on. Because bearing in mind, Arsenal will be about Gabriel and Chelsea will be about Cole Palmer. So there can't be any injury excuses there. Gyökeres should be back as well. And Arsenal have got a tough game in London on Wednesday night as well, where they are playing Bayern Munich. So it's going to be a very, very interesting week for the Champions League. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts. And I will see you next time. Thank you all for watching. I am out.